welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 244. If you're a new viewer, thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you haven't already, please click that little red subscribe button down below. And if you click the little bell-shaped icon next to it, that will let you know anytime I post a video, which right now is Saturday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So yeah, lots of videos coming out right now. So let's just dive into what am I making. I am working on, I got a long ways with the Afghan for my daughter. This is a chevron Afghan, ripple Afghan. Although I did have someone explain to me that chevron comes to more of a point where the ripple Afghan is a little more rounded. So that might be the difference then. Whichever, this is the one I'm making. So you can see my stitch marker here in the middle. And so I have gone up a few rows since then. So altogether, it is probably a little over 2 feet tall right now. And it is I think it's 46 inches wide. I did order 2 more skeins of these 2 colors because I am on the second skein of each. And these are Premier Basics. It's a worsted weight, 100% acrylic, and let me see what the yardage is. This particular color, this is taupe, and the green color I am using here is called juniper. And there are 359 yards or 328 meters per skein. So it's a good size skein. It's good sized. And I am using a 6mm hook. These are not clover hooks, but they're very similar. You can get like the entire set. I think there's 11 or 14 for under $10. I think they were $9.97. There is a link below in the Amazon link if you want to check it out. But yeah, I like them. And so this is a 6mm that I'm using. And it seems to be working pretty well because that's what my gauge looks like. So this one is, like I said, for my daughter. So that's the crochet project. Now we come to the knitting project. Now, last week, you will remember I said I was going to have to rip a bunch out. Let me show you where I was at and what I had to rip out. Okay, last week, this is a shawl that I am designing, and this striped section last week, I got off count. So I ripped it all back out. I knitted it again. It is 6 rows up and back, so it's 12 times going across. Each time I go across, it's 300 or more stitches, usually more stitches than that. So based on just 300 stitches, I knitted 3,600 and then ripped them out. Reknitted them again, so there's another 3,600 stitches, which takes us to a grand total of 7,200 stitches. My stitch count was still off when I finished. I ripped back 2 more rows and reknitted again. So a total of at least 7,800 stitches, only to discover Katrina read her own pattern wrong, and I was reading the stitch count from the row before. So the stitch count was right all along. I didn't need to rip out any of those stitches, let alone 7,600 of them. So anyway, this is how much I have gotten knitted this week. You can see my stitch marker here, which is where I ripped it back to. And then I have done this striped section, and now I'm into this section here. This is actually the bottom of the shawl, so the shawl actually will go up this direction. This is the top center. So here's what it looks like so far. And it is a crescent shaped shawl, which is why there are so many stitches, because crescent shapes are not deep this way, but they're wide this way. So that's why the width of the stitches, that's why there's so many, because normally you don't have that many on a shawl. That particular shape you do. So that's what I have been working on. Now, I had an interesting discussion with Yoka and Kim and we were talking about old sweaters. And she was saying that her mother had made her a sweater 20 some years ago. It's 100% acrylic and it's still holding up fine. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, well, wool sweaters last forever, and they do last pretty long. But usually acrylic sweaters a lot of times will pill up. I have some I've only worn a couple of times. Those big bulky ones I worked on last winter. They're very comfortable, but I wouldn't wear them out in public anymore because they look like they've been worn for years. I mean, they just really fuzzed and everything. But anyway, her sweater has held up pretty well. So I'm going to stick a picture in of what Yoka's vintage sweater from her mom looks like after 20 years. Now, you all have been very busy this week. There were, I believe, 52 or 55 pictures in show and tell this week. So you all have been very busy with the knitting and the crocheting. So the video is like over 5 minutes long, just a little warning ahead of time, but I tried to put some catchy music with it to make it enjoyable as you watch what everybody else is making. So with that, enjoy the show and tell. So what am I reading? I finished Murder, She Wrote, The Killing in a Koi Pond. I wasn't sure partway through. There were several people who have motives for killing the guy. So it was sort of expected, sort of not expected by who it was. But anyway, I finished that mystery and I'm working on finding one to read in the meantime. So yeah, I like to listen to books. There was one I found that was yarn shop related, but I can't find an audio version of it. And I like to listen while I'm crocheting or knitting and stuff. So yeah, so I'm still on the hunt for a couple, so I'll let you know when I find something. Now, I have a good bit of acquisitions. If you watched the video earlier this week, if you want to see it, you can click the link right here. Kim and I both ordered the Lion brand mystery box. By the way, they are still selling it. So there is a link down below here in Lion brand. I think they're selling it as long as supplies last. There's two different boxes you can get. There's one, which is what she and I got, which was $19.99. And then there is another box that is more bulkier yarns, and it is, I believe, $29.99. You get 9 skeins in both. Now, we definitely made out. If you wondered whether it was a good deal or not, it was. We got almost double our money. Basically, we paid $20 plus shipping. So it came out to $26, and we roughly got, Kim made out better than I did. I think she ended up getting yarn worth, each of her skeins were worth $5.99. So she got like $53 worth of yarn for spending a total of $26. Mine was just slightly less than that, but not by a whole lot. So let me show you what I got. The mystery box is 9 skeins. They're in groups of 3, so you're not going to get like 1 skein of this, 1 skein of that. You know, what are you going to do with 1 skein of yarn? So I have 3 skeins of ice cream cotton blend, and the color is showing up very true to color right here. So I have 3 skeins of this. It is called Lime, and it is 225 yards or 100 grams. It's 47% cotton, 53% acrylic. So yes, there it is. I have 3 of them. So I'm hoping that will become a summer top, possibly next summer. We'll have to see. The next thing I got was 3 skeins of Vanna's Choice. Now, this one, the ice cream yarn, normally sells for $5.99 a skein. Vanna's Choice sells for $4.99, and it is 170 yards of 100% acrylic. And the color of this one is called Lemon Pepper, and this is also showing up really true to color. It is a brown, like a camel color brown, but there are some definite kind of undertones in it. In certain lights, it looks like it has almost like a slight olivey green color to it, and other lights, it has a little bit of a gold color to it. So yeah, so I've got 3 skeins of this. These each sold for $4.99. And then I got 3 skeins of Basic Stitch, and this is called Saffron, which is funny because the gold color in my shawl, this is also called Saffron, and they're almost identically. In fact, they are. They're the identical, same color. I've been doing a lot with this color lately. I used some of it for making my baskets that I have in our kind of shared multi-purpose room around the corner. I made some crocheted baskets out of this color yarn. I also used some of this color yarn in an Afghan that I made for our living room. So yeah, apparently I like this yarn lately. And I do. It's funny, I didn't grow up liking gold, even though I grew up in the era of antique gold appliances and everything. But anyway, it's pretty. This is called Saffron. This is a premium acrylic. It is smoother than this. There you can see them up close. And you can see the gold one is a slightly thinner, even though they're both 4 weights. But this has a little bit of a halo, where this one, well, this one has a halo too, but they're both soft, but if you had to compare them, the gold one is definitely softer of the two. There are 219 yards in the skein, and it is 100% acrylic, but like I said, it's considered premium acrylic. It doesn't say that it is anti-pilling. They do sell basic stitch that is anti-pilling. But yeah, this is very, very soft. So not sure what I'm making with all of them, but something will be made. So that's what I've got going on with that. So our Come and Get It section come and went this week because there are no sales going on that I am aware of other than the Lion Brand mystery box, and that is while supplies last. So there's no guarantee it's still running by the time you watch this video. I'm recording it on Thursday. But if you get a chance and you want to get a good deal, you definitely make out. So yeah, the link, like I said, is down below. So that's all I know of in the Come and Get It section. Now this upcoming week's videos are going to be, as I showed you before, I had to rip out a whole bunch with this. I actually filmed how I ripped the stitches out, and I showed 2 different methods for ripping out and 2 different methods for putting the stitches back on the needles. So that is going to be a tutorial on Wednesday, how to do that. And Thursday's video will be the next segment in my bariatric journey. Now I will tell you ahead of time, because some of you maybe aren't aware of this, but I film a little bit ahead of time. And when I first started the bariatric series, I wasn't sure whether I was going to share it or not. And also a lot of things happened right away. I had lots of appointments, like one right after the other when I first got started, and I didn't want to like bombard all of these like one after another after another. So what you are seeing is about 2 weeks beyond. So this past Wednesday you saw me after I had my endoscopy done. That was exactly 2 weeks ago. So yeah, so things are moving right along. I have lost a total so far of 3 pounds, which doesn't sound like much, but that's in 2 weeks. So roughly, I think it was 2 pounds the first week and 1.5 pounds the second. So yeah, I am continuing to try to lose weight as we go. And yeah, so that's Thursday's video, will be the next in my segment of my bariatric journey. And I do want to say thank you to all of you for being very supportive and encouraging me. And if you are watching that series and you're also trying to lose weight, make sure you stick down in the comments of those videos, not what your weight is, but if you've lost weight that week, tell us about it. We want to cheer along with you. So yeah, we can encourage each other and hold each other accountable, because I need the accountability to watch what I'm doing. I am keeping a food log to try to help me stay on target there. So yeah, that is it for this week. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all of you who are returning viewers who come back faithfully every week. You're my yarning friends and I appreciate it. So I want you to have a great week, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye everybody.